Welcome to the Make Meaning podcast. I'm Lynn Galadner, a writer, entrepreneur, and changemaker, and I've dedicated my life to sharing stories of how people make meaning in their work and find purpose in their lives. This podcast highlights some of the great ideas and activities people do every day to make the world a better place. So much of the meaning we find comes from interacting with great people, developing relationships that are mutually beneficial, and doing work that inspires. I hope you'll be inspired by the people you meet on this podcast. We all need to find a way to make meaning in the mundane. Welcome back to the Make Meaning podcast. I'm Lynn Galadner, and tomorrow is my 30-year reunion of my high school graduating class. I graduated from North Farmington High School in Farmington Hills, Michigan in 1989, and I thought it would be a great time to reflect on where we started and how we got to where we are today. I loved high school. I loved my peers and my classmates and the experiences we had growing up in suburban Detroit. On this episode of the Make Meaning podcast, I've invited some of my classmates to join me in a conversation about where we thought we were headed and where we ended up. Welcome to the Make Meaning podcast, everyone.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Okay, so normally I have one or two people on this show, but today I have 6 amazing people, and I thought you guys would do the best job of introducing yourselves. So let's go around, let's hear who you are, where you live, what you do now, and anything else that our listeners should know. So let's start with Shelly.
Oh, ladies first, I guess. I knew
Yes.
I was going to get started first. Hi, I'm Shelly Sharp, and I'm from Fishers, Indiana, in town for the reunion tomorrow. So excited. I am a work-from-home mom. I run my own international business.
Awesome. What kind of business?
So it's a fragrance business. So, yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. And Jason, why don't you go?
My name is Jason Monska. Very pleased to be here. See some long-standing friends, some happy faces. Grew up in Farmington Hills, Michigan. Moved to Scottsdale, Arizona for college. Came back to Detroit for a brief stint for a few years in business. And ended up back in Arizona where I love it. Just it was always meant to be for me. I have 2 beautiful daughters. I have an ex-wife who's I get along with well. Co-parent as best we can. And hopefully keep our kids on the straight path.
Awesome. Very cool. Welcome. You just flew in, too.
I did.
Which is awesome. Thank you for being here. All right, Arthur.
That looks like a version of Steve right there.
Somebody just walked by. You guys, there are big windows here. We're at the Detroit Foundation Hotel, and people just walk by while we're recording. So that's what you're
cool.
missing. Yeah.
Hey guys, so this is Arthur Glusman. Live in Commerce, Michigan. Haven't moved from Michigan. I have 2 kids, still married. It was our 19-year anniversary on July the 9th.
Congratulations.
Yep, I got a 19-year-old girl. She's going to be a sophomore at Western, and my son's bar mitzvah is coming up on September the 1st.
Nice.
And I've been in recruiting and coaching for 20 plus years. In fact, Lynn and I have worked together, and looking forward to working with you again.
Cool.
And I haven't seen anybody in 30 years.
So welcome. I'm glad you're going to the reunion.
Yes,
excellent. Awesome. So Ross Green, you're up.
Hi, I'm Ross Green. Graduated with all these crazy people. Happy to say I'm still a Metro Detroiter. Haven't moved away. Went to school here in Detroit and didn't finish school. Decided to go into business by myself and ended up becoming a full-time firefighter paramedic. Been doing that 25 years now. And I actually just got back into the transportation business, which I was doing 20-some years ago before I was a firefighter.
Nice. Welcome.
I have 2 wonderful stepchildren, a 27-year-old daughter and a 24-year-old son who happens to be in the Air Force, and he's a firefighter as well.
Wow. Thank him for his service. That's awesome. All right, Steve, you're up.
Hey, my name is Steve Rudin. I have been living in Washington, D.C. now for almost 24 years. I forecast the weather for the ABC affiliate here, and that's pretty much it.
Awesome. And you were our senior class president, right?
I was.
Excellent.
Back in the day.
Cool.
And most likely to be a game show host.
And maybe we'll get to share that awesome picture of you with the senior shirt with the show. We'll talk about it.
Yes.
We'll talk.
Meteorologist, game show host, almost the same.
Jeff, you're up.
Okay, hi, I'm Jeff Simpson. I am currently a math teacher at our old high school, North Farmington High School.
Go Raiders.
Just finished my 25th year, so obviously I enjoyed high school because I'm still in it.
Yeah.
Lovely wife, Amy, will be married 19 years in about 2 weeks.
And then I have two daughters who one will be a senior at North Farmington and one will be a freshman at North Farmington. And I still coach. I'm varsity girls basketball coach. That's where I'm at now in Holland, Michigan at Hope College.
Uh-huh.
And I coach softball with both my girls in travel softball.
Awesome. So you guys, 30 years, it feels like there's no way we could be 48. I just don't get it, but I still think I'm 25, but it has been 30 years. And so I don't know if I'm looking back with rose-colored glasses or not. So when you look back, what do you remember about, what you were thinking when you were ready to launch, you were ready to go, we were heading out, where did you think you would end up? Anybody remember that stuff?
For me, this is Jason. I always knew we had a special class. I mean, nothing's perfect in life. No one's life is perfect, but we just did have a special class of people that I always look back upon fondly. As far as myself, I always had the pull to Arizona. It always felt more like home to me, even though Detroit's my home and it's my family, but Scottsdale's where I live and it's where my daughters are and it's where I've set up roots, and it's just always been somewhere I wanted to be, and it feels great.
Yeah. So you kind of set out and you ended up there and you sort of stayed the path.
Yep.
Awesome. Who else?
Jeff Simpson here.
Uh-huh.
Well, the ironic thing was I was voted most likely to be a teacher at North. And,
I love it.
and then if you pull out the old senior video, it says I'll be there in 5 years. I don't know if I thought it'd take me 5 years to graduate, but I actually did graduate in 4.
Uh-huh.
And then I taught for 1 year somewhere else before I got hired at North. So
Oh my gosh.
it worked out almost perfectly.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. That's really cool. Who else?
Ross here. I think some of us thought because of the time that we were required to go to college back in the late 80s, you had to go to college to do something, and I was reluctant. I probably should have signed up for the military right when I got out of high school.
Yeah.
But I went to college. I went to University of Detroit, studied architecture, enjoyed the school version of it. But when I got in the real world, it wasn't something that I really enjoyed. So I left architecture and went into my own business, and somehow it progressed into becoming a public servant, being a firefighter. So it's completely different than a plan. If it was a plan, I think the plan was predisposed for some of us to go to school and try and become something. But it's obviously worked out. So
Well, and bravo to you for having the confidence and the courage to know yourself back then. I don't know about you guys, but in my 20s, I don't think I had that courage. I think it was well into my 30s that I was like, you know what, this is my life. I'm going to write it. But that's really awesome. I think that a lot of young people don't have that confidence.
Well, I think it's important to be able to make a change. And I made a dramatic change from being a self-employed business owner to finding something that was, I guess, less self-serving.
Yeah.
And it made a difference. I think it was a good difference for myself, family. My family life changed. It's one of those things that we take for granted. I think in today's society, a lot of people talk about vocational schools and that type of work. And I think it's different now. And I think what we think we should do when we're in high school is very different than what we really want to do.
Mm-hmm. That's really true. Yeah. Shelley?
Yeah, I remember getting out of high school, and I don't know that there was another option. It was everybody, where are you going to school?
Right. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I thought I was going to Michigan State, and then I went to a football game, and it was crazy overwhelming for me. I thought, oh my gosh, this is where I'm supposed to go to school. I better find somewhere else, and got a piece of mail, and it said Adrian College on it. I said, Mom, take me here. I think this is where I need to go to school. And 3.5 years later, I graduated from Adrian College,
Wow.
So it was kind of crazy, but I have an 18-year-old, and he just graduated from high school with almost 800 students.
Oh my gosh.
And we've been talking for about 18 months about an after high school plan. And I can't lie, as his mother and went to college, I was very excited when we got the acceptance letter from Ball State. When it came and it said, you're going to Ball State, you're a Cardinal, I was jumping up and down. And when I still talk about it with my friends, I'm like, when I drop him off and actually make his bed in his dorm room, we will have a drink. And when he passes math and it's Christmas time, I will tell you he's going to graduate from college. So if we can get through freshman math, we're good. But looking back at it exactly 30 years and watching my son go through the same thing, I had no idea,
Yeah. Well, I have a 17-year-old. My oldest is 17. I have 4 teenagers. And were we as cocky and dismissive as they are? Because I'm telling
No.
you, my 17-year-old, my 15-year-old, it's like I know nothing, and I'm like the most embarrassing person ever. And I thought I was super cool, and I got them this far. So what's the deal? Like, were we that too? I mean,
Well, I had the best backhanded compliment from Kalina the other day. We were driving, or actually she was driving, and she enlightened me that she used to think that I was the dumbest person on earth until recently she realized I was very smart and intelligent. I said, I think I'm supposed to say thank you.
backhanded compliment, right? That's so funny. Jeff and Steve, let's hear from you.
This is Jeff. About the high school kids, they're all cocky. Okay, trust me, I work with them every day.
Uh-huh.
I think it's just the nature of the beast. I mean, my kids right now, you think I'd know nothing, just like you're saying you don't know anything according to your son. It's the same situation. All the kids think that. And I think we thought we knew everything. And then you go off to college and you start going into the real world and you're like, my parents weren't that bad after all. They kind of knew a little bit of stuff. And I think that's where we're all looking forward to that day when they finally come back and tell us we aren't as dumb as we thought, as they think we are.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
I'm hoping. Arthur, you were going to say something.
Evolution. The digital age. It's like everything else in life. It changes people, right? But no, with regards to myself, I think the question was, where did we think we were going to be?
Yeah.
So for those of you that remember, I'm originally from Russia, right? There was Andy Greenbaum and all those other guys. And I think because of that upbringing here, when I came here when I was 8, we were always pushed to do more, to have that drive. And, coming from an immigrant background, at least myself, I just always knew that I was going to be an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. I didn't know exactly I was going to be in recruiting and coaching.
Yeah.
But, I think that started actually when I was a senior and Rick Benton was in 11th grade.
Uh-huh.
And we were in, what was that, the music teacher? No, it was Levine. And I brought my keyboard in and I started my DJ company.
Oh, back then,
Yep.
the 80s.
Yep.
I was just with Rick yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Are you? Oh, that's right. He's in Arizona. Yeah. He sold that company that we started, Living Energy.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That was the
right.
company.
It's
That,
the DJ RDG.
that lasted a long time.
Right. Right. It did last a long time.
Hey, Steve, we haven't heard from you. Where did you think you were going to end up when you left high school?
Yeah, I always knew that I wanted to do meteorology.
Yeah.
I did not know how to do it because I didn't want to go work for NASA. I didn't want to go work for the government. I wanted to do broadcast meteorology. And at that point, there was one school in the entire country
Really?
that offered that program. And I was not going to go to Mississippi. So, so I went, nothing's wrong with Mississippi, but I ended up going to Michigan State. I graduated, and then I went to Michigan after that. And I never knew where I was going to end up in terms of the city, because in this career, the career that I have, the city picks you, you don't pick the city.
Sure.
There aren't that many openings, and I ended up in Madison, Wisconsin. And I was really fortunate after 14 months to come to DC.
Yeah.
But never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that here I am almost 24 years later in Washington.
Right.
Because my end goal originally was to go back to Detroit or to go to Chicago. And once I got to DC, I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's funny because I remember when I was growing up, I thought this was the most boring place ever. And, I couldn't wait to hightail it out of here. I mean, I went to Michigan undergrad, but then literally 3 weeks after graduation, I moved to New York. And then somehow that was okay, but not ideal. And so a year later, I was in DC. And then the whole time I was away, I missed Michigan. I sort of missed the friendliness. Like I used to complain when I was in DC. I don't know if you feel this way, Steve, but that when I would be on the Beltway in traffic and I'd let somebody in and they wouldn't wave to thank me. And I'm like, oh, the indignation. Like in Michigan, people would say like, thanks, And
our wave here is the middle.
Well, so I came back in 96 and 95, 96, and I love I love living here. And of course, some of my kids are like, oh, I can't wait to leave. And I'm like, yeah, we'll see. But I mean, there are other places that you discover are your home. But I gained an appreciation of where we're from being away.
Hey, you know what? There's something that, growing up in Michigan that you just don't get in other places. I mean, you don't get greens. You don't get good corned beef sandwiches unless you're in New York City. I mean, just food-wise, Coney dogs,
Coney dogs.
non-existent.
Right.
Non-existent here.
Lafayette,
And you've got both of them. You got Lafayette and American right there.
It's right around the corner from where we're recording right now. Yeah, totally.
That's
we
awesome.
might head out there over after this, right?
That's
You know?
lunch on Saturday for me.
So, so talk a little bit, you guys, about, where the journey took you. So you thought you knew where you were headed. You headed out that way. Any surprises over the years? Something like bumps in the road, twists and turns that that you didn't see coming, but that made you better for it. What was your experience?
For me, this is Jason. For me, the bumps in the road or the failures or whatever you want to call them that we all experience, those I look back upon, they were moments in time where I was able to look backwards and discover what was making me happy in life.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, I got more into who I really was and who I am, and certainly where I'm from.
Uh-huh.
And I've lived true to that, and it's been great ever since. So the failures or road bumps to me always led to something successful.
So do you think who you are was always there and you just had to get rid of that sort of surface stuff to really get back there?
100%.
Yeah, like who you were as a kid. that
It
kind of
helps
thing?
so much to have a mentor, and I've mentored literally hundreds of kids now.
Yeah.
And the things that are important in life, one of the big things that I try to teach or talk about is EQ, emotional intelligence.
Uh-huh.
And within that, that's where the realness comes from. That's where the personal satisfaction comes from. That's how you relate to others. That's how you're empathetic. That's all the things that truly matter to me in life.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is Ross. I think that the same thing as what Jason just said. A direct change in life. I was going down a path. I did everything I was supposed to. I went to college, although I didn't finish. I was trying to do everything I was supposed to do. I got married the way I was supposed to. Life changed, and somehow the career that I found kind of manifested itself. From my old life, I started out as an on-call firefighter for the Farmington Hills Fire Department, and it was kind of cool. And I'm like, wow, someday I think I could really do this. I wasn't that proverbial kid that said I want to be a firefighter when I grow up.
Sure.
When the change experience happened, it was a complete reset, and the direction was obvious. I sold off of my business. I went into the full-time firefighter, and I can't look back. I mean, it's a great career.
Yeah.
I married a wonderful person that had two wonderful children that are my children now.
Yeah.
And you can't change or regret anything. If you regret something, you really have to take a checks and balance for yourself. Regrets aren't something that we should have. We have to look back and take anything that negative happened in our lives and grow on that negativity.
Yeah.
And I think Jason alludes to that as well. And I think that to find a second life, so to speak, it isn't a true second life. It's a completion or the end game, so to speak. And
Yeah.
you continue to move forward. And I can honestly tell you that when I graduated high school, I never thought that I'd be the guy running down the street, ripping it up with the lights and sirens going, and enjoying myself, helping people, and doing things that the average person doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody
awesome.
should do a ride along with a fire person.
absolutely.
We'll Ross if you want to. We'll give the number, right? In
Yeah,
the show
right.
notes, right?
867-5309.
Right there you go.
Jenny.
I will put that on the playlist for tomorrow night.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Awesome.
I'm going to pass it off to Alan, the DJ. I got a playlist that my 27-year-old daughter, who loves 80s music,
Yes.
put together, and I'm going to now hand that off to Glusman here for what was the DJ name?
RDG.
DJ RDG. I'm going to rent equipment tomorrow morning. I'm going to have it all set up, and then you're on your own.
Do we have a DJ?
No, I was
now
going to
we
hire one.
Now we do.
but
Okay, cool.
I got an iPad or an iPod. I don't know what
Love
it is. Yeah, exactly.
So anybody else want to talk about twists and turns, bumps in the road? Anyone?
I feel that I'm at a point in my life that I really wake up every morning and know this is exactly where I'm supposed to be and where I want to be.
I love that.
And I couldn't have said that maybe even 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
I had a lot of, you talked about pivots and
Uh-huh.
bumps in the road and things that happen that, you might not be so proud of, or the way you acted or reacted to something in your life. But I look back and I'm like, that was supposed to happen, and time healed that, and I
Yeah.
became a better person because of it. So, yeah.
That's awesome. First of all, congratulations. That's fantastic. That is. It's funny. When I was younger, I used to, have regrets or say, oh, shouldn't have done this or partied too hard there or whatever. I absolutely do not feel that way about anything in the past. I'm like, you know what? I'm great. I'm here, and it all made me who I am today. And yeah, I mean, I think you kind of get to that point, right? You know?
There's a great quote by an old photographer. I'm not sure if he's still alive. His name is Stanko Abradovich. And to sum it up, basically he said that the faster we live, the less connected we become. And I've learned that throughout my life. And instead of being on vacation and thinking about what I need to do when I get back, I try my best to live in the present every single moment, whether I'm talking to somebody, meeting with somebody in business or whatever, especially with my daughters. And it's paid dividends big time.
Yeah, I love that, Jay. Thank you.
So my microphone is back on.
Oh, good. RDG's back.
Arthur
DJ
Glusman
RDG.
again. So actually, I'm proud to say that after graduating North, and I went to Michigan State, got my degree in accounting, and started with one of the big four firms. I never in my wildest dreams, even knew that recruiters existed back in 1996. And I don't want to say I fell into it because, the man upstairs has a plan for you. You don't necessarily know what that is, but he puts things in front of you and you kind of fall into it. And actually piggybacking on what Jason said and the others, being in recruiting and coaching, and Lynn has known me for a long time, a lot of people, they're lost. Right. And I think what Jason said with regards to what is that?
Emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
And I do assessment tests with people. They do not have a lot of people don't have direction in life.
Yeah.
And, I'm proud to say that I get up and enjoy what I do every single day because that's what people need.
Yeah.
Somebody shared something that made sense to me about millennials because there's a disconnect between our generation and theirs, and especially older generations. And in essence, what this gentleman said, who was a World War II vet, is that he was asked the question, what's the difference between the greatest generation and then arguably, quote unquote, the worst generation? And the answer is really nothing because they're both people. But then, of course, then at the same time, everything's different.
Yeah.
And why is that? And he had a very simple answer. He goes, his generation, World War II, they had challenges that were more important than them. They lived for a cause that was more important than themselves. Kids enlisting to go fight at 14, 15, 16, 17, even before they're legal.
Yeah.
Where now the children aren't faced with challenges, so they create these challenges through social media and all these other things that aren't rewarding and don't provide them any value.
Yeah.
So it's good to be challenged. It's good to challenge yourself. It's good to live for something or do something that's more important than your own self.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Steve and Jeff, what do you guys think about that?
This is Steve.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Where I work, I'm now one of the older people, which is really, really scary.
Yes.
And I mean, we had a whole generation before me that were literally in their 70s that all retired within the last 5 or 6 years, and it left this next tier, which is my group. But now the younger folks are the people who decide not to stay into the business. There are fewer and fewer of us, but the younger kids, and I call them kids, and I say that not to call them kids.
Because we could be their parents, right? I mean,
the ones that are in their 20s, and when they say, oh, when were you born? It's like, I was born in 1999. They're like, oh my God, 1999. I mean, that is absolutely mind-boggling.
Yes.
But it's interesting how you could see the work ethic and I'm not saying that all are like this.
Yeah.
But there's a different expectation from generation to generation. The folks who were before me, they were old school, and that's who I learned from.
Yeah.
And I mean, I put my own twist on things, and it's like, now you see these other folks that come in, and the work ethic and the dedication, without sounding negative, it's not as intense as what I remember myself being when I was their age.
Yeah. Yeah. I look back when I was that age and I was interning at a newspaper, and I had to write obituaries and I had to call people who were grieving. And of course, we didn't have the internet. So it's all phone and fax and whatever it was. And it was really hard, but it was just sort of like, you have to do it. Your editor gives you the job and that's what you do. And it's not, you can't say that it's hard, but I think today it's different. I think you can say that it's hard and that, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think about that? Are we just being old codgers who are saying that, we're tougher and we have a better work ethic than everybody, or is it real?
No, actually, this is Arthur. I just want to say something real quick. I have 3 virtual assistants that work with me. None of them are in the United States of America. One is in India, one is in the Philippines, one is in Venezuela. Okay?
Nice.
These people bust their butt for a fraction of what, let's say, our kids would be expecting or our graduates.
Yeah.
And they're grateful for that. And so I think something in our society has maneuvered from when we were kids, because look at all, I mean, we're all, I think hustling for us
Yeah.
was a given,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
car washes or, washing dishes or whatever we had to do.
Yeah.
Kids these days, they beat to a different drum. It's plain and simple.
Okay,
But it's also the parents' problem. It's the parents
Yes.
that are enabling that, and that has to be owned by the generation above them. Otherwise, it's just sweeping under the rug.
Yeah.
I mean, what Steve said, I think, is spot on. The term "old school" to me, it's synonymous to me with what's called consultative selling. It's really just doing the simple things, making contact, going to see somebody versus texting them, calling them versus an email,
Yeah.
spending time, building rapport, building a relationship, talking about them. Business will follow, but know the person.
Absolutely. I think Jeff or Steve was trying to say something. I kept cutting you off. Sorry about that.
That's okay. It was me, Jeff. Yeah, I mean, I see this stuff firsthand, on a daily basis. And back to what Steve said. Yeah, I'm now one of the old farts at North Farmington, just so we're clear.
Oh my God.
There's nobody left from when we went there. Okay, they're all gone. They've
Oh
all
my gosh.
left the hallways. In fact, Bill Pinnell was the last one left, and he retired this year.
Wow.
But so it is a changing. I think Jason said it, and I forget who else. It's just, there isn't the same work ethic. I would agree with that wholeheartedly. It's, and there's a different mindset with people with, even my own kids sometimes, it frustrates me that, they do so many things online or with different things that, you're just like, you've got to have a mindset. You've got to be able to do this. Like, I'm worried if she knows how to do laundry next year when she goes to college.
Okay, I just have 2 words: tough love. If she doesn't know how and she has dirty clothes, she will learn, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's like, my wife says that all the time. She's like, is she going to know? I go, she'll figure it out. She's a bright kid. She's got to figure it out sooner or later. I said, but I think, and I'm not putting her, but, she has a pretty good work ethic, but there's a lot of them that don't. I look at some of them in high school and I go, I just say to them, what are you going to do? What is your plan? Or what, you don't have to have the perfect plan. Like Ross said, it could change, but what is your plan? And some of them, they just don't have I really think they think they're just going to live with mom and dad forever. I don't know. It scares me sometimes. I'm like, really? What's going to happen here?
This is Steve. I think social media has played a huge role in this.
Yeah.
And in terms of how, the younger ones are today. And, everything is measured on social media. How many likes do you get? How many retweets do you get? How popular are you? I see it in my business. We get, reports every week. Who had the most? Who had the least? And it's sort of like, oh, I better send more pictures of my dog or something, and to get some retweets. And
I've seen Gus everywhere. What are you talking about?
I always like your
Gus
stuff,
Gus
Steve.
is more popular than me.
We always support you, Steve. All of us, right? We're your biggest fans.
Absolutely. But it's interesting with social media, though. That's how people today rank you.
Yeah.
Rank especially kids in high school.
Themselves.
I can't imagine what I would be like if I had Twitter and Facebook when I was in high school. Does anyone want to take a gab at that? What would you be like if you had Twitter and Facebook? What would your handle be, Jason?
ADD.
This is Ross. I'd be in jail for sure.
I would be blocked. I would be totally blocked, and I would be in trouble.
Yeah.
So,
well, I just have to say it's a miracle that it's so great that we didn't have it for so many different reasons, but especially because when I think about what I got away with that my parents still don't know about, and I don't even think they listen to my podcast, so that's fine. But I know every single thing my kids do. I can track them. I see where they're moving when they're moving. Like it's scary. I sort of feel like we should be in the dark.
It's funny, Steve. Of course, I'll have to disagree with you. But it sounds to me like an excuse
Is
because
this Ross?
this is Ross, of course.
Of course.
Of course,
Ross
but-
disagrees with me on everything.
Everything but what Gus does is okay. Gus is
cool.
Gus is cool. The key is we have a room full of almost 50-year-olds.
Oh, no, we're 48.
I'm sorry, we're still in our 40s.
When we're approaching 50,
Right.
start using approaching.
Oh, you guys are killing me.
The bottom line is somehow we figured it out, but we forgot how to share it with our children.
I don't agree with that.
Well, I think that in my line of work, I see a lot of bad things, and Jason and everyone's pointed out different things that go on and Facebook and this and that and likes and dislikes. It's like at some point I taught my kids, even though they used Google to find the phone number instead of the yellow pages, I said, pick up the phone and call the auto parts store and find out if they have the parts. Well, can't I just send them a message? No, you can't send them a message. You actually have to do something. Google's not going to fix your car for you. I'm going to fix it for you, but you're
Were you
going
at
to
my house yesterday? Because we had the same conversation about
so
a flat tire.
how is it so far removed? And Jeff is the perfect witness. He works in the high school and he sees this. So parents, us, we're the parents of the people that are in high school right now, and we're teaching these kids something different. And my kid learned that. I'll use a quote from a movie, Ricky Bobby in the Talladega Nights. If you're not first, you're last. I think
That is true.
I think we all fought to be better and be first, best in class, best at your job, best somewhere.
Do you really think so? I didn't feel like I was fighting with people to be.
Okay, fighting's a bad word. I think that the point is it's different now because now it's just a matter of, well, I didn't get a lot of likes, so things aren't good. And it's like, what do you mean things aren't good? You're a smart kid. You do this, you do that. Who cares how many likes or whatever you get?
So Shelly's dying to talk. We have got to let the woman have the microphone.
Okay, so I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. Okay, so going back a little bit to a couple things that we've said with the social media, I think that the new generation, the millennials, if we want to call them that, or even like my son, their dream is different than ours. When we were growing up, we saw what our parents had. Our parents had the typical job that was normal for them. My parents are they cannot believe both their daughters are entrepreneurs and we work, for ourselves, with other people, and they just can't believe it. That would not be normal for when we were in high school. Everybody, you got a job at a Fortune 500 company or, one of the motor companies, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So social media has totally changed our kids' dreams. They watch their influencers and they want to have experiences. They want to travel the world. They don't care if they pinch a tent. I have a friend on Facebook literally is living in a tent.
No way.
So that her and her family can travel the world. And we watch and we go through her experiences living in all these different places around the world because of social media. So the dream is different. They don't need to have the perfect job that's normal like everybody else with a pension and a retirement plan and the perfect house. And then when you get the perfect house, you're there and it's paid off.
Yeah.
And then you retire and then you send your kids to college and they do the same thing. Well, that's not typical or normal anymore. That's not what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of different. And
But if you ask them the question, what are you going to do when you're 70? Do they have an answer for that?
I don't think they
I don't have an answer for that.
I don't think we have an answer either.
They don't
I go,
even-
but I
I'm
really
not even
think.
thinking that far. They're thinking hey, what are we going to get to eat? And
Yeah, and I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. That's fine as long as they don't need to feed somebody else. If they don't
so
need,
we're gonna refocus this because I think Steve and Jeff want to say something, and then we're gonna move it back to our.
Steve and Jeff could have come to the studio.
So
I would have loved to have. I mean,
I know.
I blame the airlines for trying to charge $500 for a round trip.
I agree.
Steve, I paid double just to see Lynn today.
Oh, Jay, I love you so much. I can't.
Hey, Steve, it's a 12-hour drive.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay, that's all got to be added.
Okay, there's hazing happening here now, right?
Only people that love each other love
I
Hayes.
couldn't hear all that.
That's true. Thank God. Thank
Okay,
God.
that's really no, I just think that, I mean, back to like the generation that is now after ours, and like how what forward thinking means to them, or what it is. And I'm like, and everybody always says to me, well, I said, I got 5 years left. I can retire in 5 years.
No way.
And
That's awesome.
and the way education is, it's like, it's a very, it's changed a lot over the years. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And I tell everybody I'm going to go at 5 years. I'll be 53, and I'm going to
Wow.
do something. My wife likes to chime in. You're going to do something else, but I'm going to do something else, and I don't know what yet fully. But it is nice to have that security, and
Yeah.
that was one of the perks. There's not a lot of them as a teacher, but that is one of the perks. Is
I love that.
having that pension in the future.
Yeah. Jason, you were going to say something.
What I hear, though, I hear us cumulatively talking about what children should do or what they could do or why they're different. I think that ownership starts with us, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
I agree with that.
I'm far from perfect, and I've made plenty of mistakes, and I continue to make mistakes. However, the things that I've done right is my oldest daughter now, who's 15, she's already had 3 internships. She works part-time for the #1 finance guy in Arizona. She'll have her 4th internship with a mayor this summer, and she's 15. And it's bringing those things to their eyes, because they'll learn far more from somebody else than
Yeah.
they will from us as a parent at that age.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, one of the things I've done with my kids is I don't push them with their grades or anything, because I feel like whatever their choice is, they will learn from it. So if they totally fall on their faces and fail, that's a lesson, and they'll have to make a decision how they're going to pick themselves up and go forward. So I'm not the parent who pushes like, you got to get a 4-point, or 5-point, or whatever it is today. And I actually think my parents were like that too. Like, my parents definitely wanted us to do well and to study, but they were not hovering. When I think back to college applications, my parents probably wrote a check for whatever the fee was, but that was it. Like, they didn't sit and look over my shoulder and say, what are you doing? They kind of sort of left me to my own devices, and I think that's a real gift. I really do.
I think that this is Ross again. I think that it was funny. At one point in time when I was in school, and I was questioning that I was in school and doing what I was doing because it wasn't for me, I actually came home from school. I went to my dad's house and I said, did you have anything to do with me getting accepted? Because I don't think my high school GPA got me into college. And he's like, nope. He says, no one called, no one asked. I said, okay, I'll load the question and say, would you have? And he's like, well, I may have. I went to a private school. I went to University of Detroit, and it was a really cool school, and somehow I got in, and maybe it was just the right timing, or I had just the right numbers, and my SAT score saved me. Who knows? It doesn't really make a difference. But I actually asked my dad that question because I didn't feel confident enough to figure that, wait a minute, something's wrong. How did I get here?
Yeah.
It was the only school I applied to. They accepted me, and something's not right. I tried to apply somewhere where I wasn't going to get accepted because then I'd have an excuse not to go to school. But with my kids, it's funny because, and Lynn said it, tough love. Tough love's the way to go. And I gave my stepchildren a hard way to go because I was allowed to. As a stepdad, you're allowed to beat the kids and do all the things real parents aren't allowed to do. And I hope someday when my daughter walks down the aisle, she gives me a big hug at the end of the aisle, and she tells me where to go politely and thanks me for being such a hard ass on her. But she's doing her own thing. She went to school for a couple of years only because I told her she had to keep the health care going. And it was a lie, especially when I found out that she didn't need to go to school under the new circumstances. And when she found that out, she was really upset with me. But she left school 2 classes shy of an associate's degree, which is fine because she has a wonderful career where she's at right now, and she's advancing really well because of hard work and everything. And I think that it's different. I don't want to take full credit for it because my wife works hard, doesn't have a college degree as well, and we instilled in them that they had to work one way or the other, whether it was at school, yard work, or whatever. It was you do a sport or you have a job in our house. And my daughter had a job and my son played hockey. And he learned what he did from hockey and she learned what she did from working. And I think it made a difference. I think all millennials aren't as bad as we're kind of making them sound right now. It's
for
different.
sure. Yeah.
It's different.
Correct. Oh,
It
yeah,
is.
we're not,
And
yeah.
I think that each parent makes a decision on what they do. And it's weird that we talked about earlier that, did we lead them astray somewhere? I don't think we led them astray. We just changed. As parents, we decided society didn't want us to push. And you said,
Yeah.
Lynn doesn't, who cares about what the grades are?
Yeah. They're
As
going to
long as
end
they're
up
doing
somewhere.
their thing and they're being consistent and they're holding up to their responsibilities, we'll let them do it and we'll give them that distance. But I think that I think it's realistic to say that times definitely have changed from us leaving high school and the whole parameters of why we're having this discussion today and where we thought we would be and what we're doing. And it's ironic that Jeff is in the education system.
Yeah.
And he sees it firsthand, and
Yeah.
his account is perfect for what he's seeing. And the rest of us do different things, whether we're self-employed, work for somebody, or Lynn's self-employed, but she does something totally different.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that it's very interesting to see, and it'll be cool to meet the people that we haven't seen in 10, 20, 30 years tomorrow
Yeah.
and see where things have changed and whatever.
Maybe it's not the children that's changed. Maybe it's us that didn't follow the path that we had growing up with our parents guiding us or our grandparents guiding us in that mentorship and teaching emotional intelligence and teaching us the old school methods. So maybe it's ourselves, our fault.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Well, it's a journey, not a destination, to be cliche. But we have like 5 minutes left because
no.
I know we could go for hours. This would be like the longest podcast ever, right? But I want to finish by asking you guys, knowing what you know now, sitting where you are at this moment, 48 years old, 30-year high school reunion, approaching 50, Ross, really far down the road. Anyway, what would you tell your younger self? What would you look back and say is the most important lesson you could give to your younger self?
I think the most important thing is just be true. I think we've kind of hit on it, is be true to yourself and what you believe in and what you want to do.
Yeah.
And continue following your path. It's funny, kids these days, they'll graduate high school, they'll come back and visit 5-10 years later, and they'll say, "Are you still teaching at North?" I'm like, yeah. In education, the difference is, unlike some other jobs, you don't move around, because if
Yeah.
you move around, you take a pay cut.
Yeah.
It's like you stay. And so, yeah, I'm staying there until they kick me out the door or I decide to go. I said, well, you just got to stay true to yourself and follow your dreams. And my dream, I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a math teacher and a coach. And I hope my kids follow their dreams and do what they want to do. And, but you just got to stay true to what you are and what you believe in.
Yeah. Arthur, what would you say?
I would say listen to your parents.
Listen to your parents.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Cool. Who else?
sometimes we're right.
Sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Right. 'cause
Sometimes.
Shelley, what do you think? What would you say to your younger self?
Well, I still say it to myself every day. Sometimes I think I'm my worst critic. So just be easier on yourself, because everything works out the way it's supposed to. And I think the biggest thing that I am most excited about is finding something that I'm passionate about doing, so it doesn't even feel like work. I mean, one of my first paydays, I remember, because I had been a stay-at-home mom for a while, and now I'm a work-from-home mom for 10 years. But I remember getting my first paycheck and forgetting it was payday till somebody that worked under me had said, "Hey, how do we use this pay card?" And I'm like, "Well, we used to get paychecks. You mean we get paid on a credit card now?" Like, this was probably like 9 years ago when they switched the way we got paid. I was like, "Oh, we get paid on a credit card? Oh, I guess it is payday. Well, let me find out about that." And that was that was like 9 years ago. And I think that was when I was like, hey, I found something that I love to do so much that I forget that I do it to get paid. So
That's
if you can
awesome.
find something that you are passionate about doing, that you love doing with people that you truly enjoy, then, life's good.
I love that. That's wonderful. It's cool. Who else? Jay, what would you say?
From my experience, I feel that I've just become more of who I always was, and I really like that part about me. For me, it'd be, pay attention to who I am, understand what matters, get rid of things that don't matter, surround yourself with like-minded individuals, understand that's your network, and that will take you everywhere. Every single person that you touch, keep them in your network for life. It means everything. Those simple things, those simple tenets of life can take everybody so far.
I love that. That's true. Russ?
I think that Shelley summed it up, and I found my thing. And yeah, it's nice that the calendar shows the payday every 2 weeks. But I don't know if you guys see the movie Matrix, but we have a Mrs. Anderson that lives in the township where I work, and she's spectacular. And she was probably having maybe a heart attack or whatever issue she had going on. And she said, hold on, I have to get something out of my bedroom. And she went and got this paper bag out of her bedroom. And we go to her house regularly. And in the bag was these 3 handmade Afghans that she made for myself and my crew for my fire station.
Aww.
And that Afghan sits on the end table at the foot of my bed. And that's why I do my job. The paycheck's nice. The pension's nice. The retirement's nice. The insurance nice. All that's nice, but we need to understand or teach our children that tomorrow has something different for us. And it's the little things that make the difference, not the big things or the paycheck.
Yeah. Really well said. Steve, do you have any thoughts about what you would say to your younger self today?
Oh my gosh. Oh boy, where do I start? Don't be afraid to think out of the box.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to be different. I am gay. And I mean, I was when I was in high school, and it was no surprise to myself. I don't think it was, looking back at it in hindsight, a surprise to many people. And it's just sort of like, but you think of today, what it's like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
In high school, if I were to come out, I don't think that would have been so cool. But I mean, but like I say, for my younger self, I'd be like, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to think out of the box. And what I would say to myself, travel and open your eyes to other cultures.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And open your eyes to other people.
Absolutely.
And what they're going through.
Very well said.
Because just because you may have been born in the United States or in Arthur's in Russia, he said it gives him a different perspective. And perspective is everything. And it just widens our view of the world. And I think that if we had a better understanding for what people are doing in the Middle East, for what people are doing in Mexico, in Central America, in South America, I think we would have a better understanding of how we could get things done to make it a better place.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say that when I was younger, I didn't see that, if you see yourself in another person, if you see that humanity in them, you can't hate them. You can't be mean to them. You can't be bitchy, whatever it is. And I wish I would have known that back then, that every single person is so special and important, and that's just the goal, is to connect with other people. And I have to say, you guys, I don't know, maybe it is rose-colored glasses, but I think we had an awesome high school class. I think each of you are amazing, and I'm so grateful to know you and to count you as my friends this many years later. And I don't think that's as common as we think it is. I think we should be really grateful that we're in each other's lives, and
but we have to teach our children to appreciate that. For example,
Yeah.
I mean, Steve and I have been friends since second grade.
Yeah.
Praveen and I have been friends since second grade.
yeah.
So my neighbors, they're young professionals. They could be our kids. We had dinner with them recently, and I was like, their 10 years coming up. I was like, well, you have to go. Somebody took the time to plan that.
Yeah.
And you need to go. There were like 900 kids that graduated with us. It's on the wrong side of town. We won't know anybody. And we married each other. And we're friends with our friends. I'm like, oh, okay. So I have the same conversation with my son who just graduated. And he and his buds have been friends from kindergarten or third grade when they moved in the neighborhood. And there's a picture of the 7 of them. It gives me goosebumps thinking about the 7 of them that are like the best of buds that still hang together and really care about each other. And watching just the senior class I have stepchildren as well. So I've watched 2 of them graduate from high school, and then now my son. So the 3 of them from the same high school, pretty close in age, and watching those senior classes, although the school was bigger, our community was very similar to ours at North Farmington, and those kids do genuinely care. And maybe it is social media a little bit that keeps them a little bit connected, but they do care about each other, and they are openly accepting of all the kids in their class that graduated together from different backgrounds and things like that. So I think we need to give them a little bit of credit.
Yeah, I mean, like what you said, Steve, it is actually my kids who are in middle school, they have friends who are openly gay or bi or trans even, and they're talking about this in middle school, and they're totally just, it's no big deal. It's just whatever, And so I have to give this generation a lot of credit because everything that we fought for is now just a given. And so maybe we are, I don't know, paving a better path for the next generation. We can give that credit too. And they're not all such horrible people without a work ethic, right?
And we're really not saying anything different than our parents said about us.
Oh my gosh.
Is that bad? We're becoming our mother. I am. I'm
That's
becoming
what
my
I've been
mother
saying.
every day.
You just hit the nail on the head. We became our parents.
We became our
See?
parents.
It's all about your environment.
Well, you guys, thank you for being on the Make Meaning podcast. I am just so grateful that you guys are my friends and that you gave me this time and drank wine with me. And Steve and Jeff tomorrow night will toast. And just you guys, thank you so much. I can't wait to celebrate with everybody. And, here's to another 30 years of friendship. All right.
Thanks.
Bravo.
Thanks.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thanks for listening to the Make Meaning podcast with Lynn Golodner. You can find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. I'd love it if you would share our great conversations with your people so we can all add meaning wherever we go and whatever we do.